So as this is an interesting question for me. As a film score composer and somebody who has been described or labeled with a moniker as the king of comedy, um, really well known for comedy scores. But for me as a listener, some of your most epic contributions to film, in my opinion, came from Last of the Mohicans. The Mummy 3 is one of my favorite scores of all time. I love the music in that film. So,
Well, thank
is there, um, personally speaking, is there something or a specific style of music that you like, or not music, but
No,
film
no, no,
that you
no. I
like to
like
write
it.
for?
No, no, no. I mean, I like it all. The comedies are very, very, very hard. You don't get credit, for writing. I won't say comedy music because I never write comedy music. I write music for a comedy. But it's much easier to write Gettysburg or Dragonheart or The Mummy 3 or Last of the Mohicans because the scenes dictate pretty much what they are. In a comedy, not only do you not know necessarily what to write, but you don't know when to write,
Yeah.
what to play, which scenes to play. So, but as far as I like doing it all, I mean, the comedies are like puzzles, uh, and each director is different. One of the best guys who I had the same experience because he never came by was the great Ron Howard, the nicest person. You think someone like that, with the films he's done and his brilliance, and he never bothered me at all. And it's just interesting. And then you're allowed to write something different. But they're all, each one is different because though that's not the case. They're not leaving me alone. They're coming by, listening to stuff that they've never heard, wanting it to be their temp score, which I think you know what that
Hmm.
means. That's music that they temp the whole movie with for a year
Yeah.
before you ever get it. And you try to get them off the mood of each of those cues.
Yep.
I'm not talking about just the music, just the film starts out a certain way and you hear certain music and it puts you in a certain place. And now you get the film and say, oh no, I got a better way. Not just because you're obviously going to write your own original music, but the whole concept may be different. And you try to get these people off that. You spend the whole day playing it for them over and over again when they should be able to hear what I'm talking about if I've done my job on the first listen, but it's not what they're used to. So that's a whole
So is there a
big.
negotiation process involved in that sometimes as well? Like,
Well, no, you don't have time for that.
yeah.
They don't like it, and I see they're not gonna like it. I'll throw I'll throw out what I've thrown out some of my best stuff.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So here's a question for you. Obviously, music is really important to film and TV scoring and all of that, but I feel like maybe silence is also pretty important in that. So, as a composer, how do you know where it is important to have nothing?
Well, you don't. Oh, well, that's you're hitting. That's you hit it on the head. Well, you don't know. That's your choice.
Mm-hmm.
You have to decide, which is why I alluded to that. And I was talking about comedies, but it's the same for dramas or a period piece. No, you have to know where to play so that when the music does come in, it's for a scene that needs an extra uh, uh, sonic element to lift it emotionally to make it work better, for the director. But silence is important. Now, I once up and did, it's funny. I was talking about this last night. It involved someone who the name Quincy
Of
Jones.
course.
Now, I did a picture called Anaconda. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Anaconda was a huge successful picture. I'm the only one, evidently, when I was doing it, that knew it was a comedy. Okay, because John Voight plays a role in it. He's just hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, they didn't make it as a comedy. It was made as a real big time Jaws snake thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it took place in in South America on the Andes River or whatever. But and here's why I bring this up. One of the producers on that picture uh, was, shall we say, friends with Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones has someone who he loves. I can't remember the guy's name. A very famous South American, serious musician. Some kind of, very, the last word in this the music from that area. And he literally told this guy, "You have to hire this guy." His name was like Dori Kaimi. Now that's fine. I'm all for that, except that means that Dori Kaimi is going to have to come through for the goods for 90 minutes of this movie called Anaconda. It ain't just the percussive stuff when the snake comes out of the water and eats the guy's head off in 10 seconds. He's got to, okay, so of course, that sort of didn't work out. And they came to me, and then I had to have lunch with the group over at the Universal Lot or something like that. And I could see this guy was shaking in his boots. I knew that he was. So I had to go ahead. So at a certain point, you get to these things. You don't have to 90 minutes, and forget about it. I never saw him again. Okay. It's the night of the premiere. And there's a reason I'm telling you this. Night of the premiere. And Quincy Jones is sitting behind me with this friend of his, a woman actually, who was the producer. Yeah, I'm not going to get one of the producers of the film. And the film gets done. And so I looked around, kind of like, is he going to say that my score wasn't authentic because this guy never came back? And he says to me, "Randy, that was an amazing score. You really know how to use air." Now, this is Quincy Jones, who doesn't, he's going to say, what he was telling me is, he was complimenting me, not that maybe the music's good, but I knew where to enhance the film with the score.
Yeah.
But I also knew where it was effective not to.
Is there a lot of trial and error involved in that? Like seeing yourself try that and failing?
No. You don't have enough time.
No, I mean like in previous projects.
They don't have, what?
Like if you, I mean, in a previous project, I mean, everything you do, you're gaining experience from it. So, like, do you use that experience to know, to take that chance?
But you know what? Here's the good thing and the bad thing about this stuff. Every project is different. Every director is different.
Right.
Every story is different. Every story of the making of that project, who's involved. It could be someone that knows nothing about anything, but they bought the rights to a book. It could be a star that they would do it. They're all different. And you, of course, you use your experience as time goes on,
right,
hopefully in many areas. But you don't go, I don't go to the film mix. I learned I'm not there. I have nothing to do with my music. I give it to them. It's their baby.
Yeah.
Take it out, use it. I mean, Michael Mann on Last of the Mohicans, he'd go from, just some of these guys really experiment. Sometimes it's effective, and other times it's not. Obviously, sometimes the dialogue and sound effects completely override the music. You can't even hear half the music.
Yep.
And so I always say there's a couple of magic times, and I know what they are when I see the film and I start working on it. When you're going to get a shot, you know what? They're on a beach. There's no dialogue. Yes, they can do the sound of the wind, but it can't be too loud. And you know that something that you compose there is going to get a shot if it's really good. And so you get a couple of those moments in every picture, no matter what it is.
Right.
And sometimes they remove the best thing you've written.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times I've been very fortunate with these. I kind of created I didn't create the business, but the whole soundtrack thing. I would put the soundtrack together the way I wanted it. And if they didn't use a certain piece of music in the film, and I thought it was great, it's on my soundtrack. And then in the end, somebody will came to me and say, "How that's not in the movie?" And I go, "Sorry." You know, if
But
I
it's just
think
because it got cut, right?
it got, yeah, well, it
Yeah.
got cut. They didn't use it right.
Right.